Alrighty, so today we got to talk about some fun stuff, and that is going to be the KALE and CAULIFLA banner. Now, we have predictions for these and stuff like that. Who's going to be on there, whether or not you should be summoning will be a separate video, but we'll kind of loosely talk about it in this specific video. So that is what we are going to be discussing today. Now, when I am recording this, it is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everybody out there watching. If any of you happen to be a mother, shout out to you. Thank you for watching, as always, and make sure if you can, tell your mother that you love them and all of that fun stuff. So, with that being said, KALE and CAULIFLA, it is not Kefla. I got to get into the habit of saying that. It is not Kefla. So, they are dropping pretty soon, I would imagine. I don't think they gave us an exact summon date, but what we have to look at is the most recent Rising Dragon Carnival that we had, or just a carnival in general, and that is going to be the non-anniversary version of that carnival. Because these were just anniversary specials and they just kind of played out a little bit different to the usual format, right? I think that's important to talk about. But the last Divine Dragon Carnival that we had was the Gotenks banner. Now for JP, this did look a little bit different. Global, we did see Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, we saw Jiren, Angel Vegeta, stuff like that featured, and I think we're going to see something pretty similar, or at least in somewhat that vicinity, for who could be on the banner. Now, who do I think is going to be on it, right? Well, obviously, featured here, we have KALE and CAULIFLA. This is going to be a very good character, right? I haven't really talked in specifics about their kit. Did a reaction to the reveal for them yesterday, but did not go into the specifics of the kit because they did not go over it in the producer's letter. And individual breakdown videos, I don't think you guys are too concerned with seeing those from me, so I just did not do one. But with that, obviously, KALE and CAULIFLA are going to be featured on this banner. Now, I do think that there is a chance that Jiren is just featured on both of these because on JP, this character has literally never reran on a banner. Like, he was just, I believe maybe he was, he did rerun during New Year's for 2025, right? Like from in the end of 2024 into 2025, he was on the banner for, you know, who was it? It's just the New Year step up, right? He was featured on the front of it. And this is going to lead us to talking about the fact that you could not coin him on JP, right? So he has technically never been obtainable outside of his initial banner and on the New Year's one with stones. So with coins, this would be the first rerun for Jiren on JP. Now, the only time you could pick him was pick him up was with the 10th anniversary wish. So obviously that was not a high recommendation. I did do it on the global, but that is because I had everything else that I cared about, right? And the same thing went for JP. I think that Gotenks, funny enough, was just a better pick, so that's what I ended up going with. But with these two, KALE and CAULIFLA and Jiren, I could honestly see being the two main LRs on this banner. Now, in this third LR spot where we have Vegeta, I think that this could easily be God Goku and Hit because they recently just got their EZA, and this would give players a chance to summon for that EZA and just use them overall, right? I think that would make overall just a lot of sense. Just kind of good timing, having characters where you need them, and this is what I am expecting moving forward with this one, right? So, God Goku and Hit, Jiren, and then KALE and CAULIFLA. I don't want to say I think is a pretty safe pick for who's going to be on this banner. Now, when it comes to banner units, right, the filler SSRs, if you will, with it being a Dragon Carnival, things are going to be looking a little bit different. It's not going to be like a legendary summon. So in total, we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 9, so 12 featured units and 9 non-LR featured characters. I would just expect these to be Universe 6 related paraphernalia, if you will. It's, you know, characters who are just going to be related to Universe 6, right? So I would expect Tech Caulifla, Int Vados, STR KALE, who else is like, maybe Physical Champa, Int Hit, right? Not like crazy good characters, but just, you know, in the sports Ultimate Team games, we call it pack trash. And in the same thing here, it's going to be the sort of the same idea, right? Where it's just junk to fill up the featured units and make you mad when you get a featured animation, and then you end up pulling one of those characters. So that is sort of what I would be expecting here from this banner, where we have our main LRs, and then with the roster here, we would just have a bunch of filler characters from the Tournament of Power. So looking at that team, we are not going to specifically be seeing very many buffs outside of the Universe 6 spectrum. But if we look here, we have to find who is summonable and who is like relegated to other things, right? These characters are World Tournament, and then a lot of these characters are free to play here as well. But KALE and CAULIFLA, we talked about them earlier. They are they're going to be more than likely EZAing during the celebration. I can't imagine that they wouldn't, and this is going to be a pretty helpful character for this KALE and CAULIFLA. But then looking at the characters that could potentially be on the banner, again, I think this Kale and Caulifla are very likely. Maybe the old Kale and Caulifla could potentially be here, being on the carnival, right? Maybe that could potentially be an idea. I wouldn't love that because, again, their easy A just isn't good, and I can't imagine they'd be getting a super easy A when there's a very similar counterpart being summonable in the banner at the same time. But you could say the same thing about Kaioken Blue Goku, but I digress. But looking at it more, maybe this AGL Caulifla, physical Kale, physical Kefla, right? Just a bunch of junk to be thrown into the banner, so that way there's just more featured units, right? It being 12 featured units is obviously never ideal, but this is more than likely what we are going to be seeing because that is just how they operate with these banners, right? They want you to have a smaller chance of pulling the character, right? But with that being said, if it is similar to how we've seen it in the future, the rates could potentially be doubled, and that is obviously very helpful for those of you trying to pull the character. So that's sort of the first section. Who is going to be on this banner? That is what I'm expecting. Now, when it comes to this banner's release date, I believe it would be closer to like the 14th or the 15th or in the next couple days. You would just have to look and see after animations are revealed and stuff like that. Usually it's like a day or two. We're just gonna have to see the data download, and then we will know exactly when the characters are dropping. What you can do, excuse me, if you're not used to kind of how these things operate, you could always go to Dokkan info. You guys see me using this website all the time in the videos, and go into the schedule tab. So after the data download, it will show you where it is, because you can see the most recent cards we are the most up to date with are the World Tournament Easy A's, but those are not going to be important for this. So with Kale and Caulifla in specific, I guess I can kind of use this time to tell you, it's like, I think they look pretty damn good. I'm just kind of scared on how the team is kind of going to work out for them, right? Being pure Saiyans and stuff like that, that helps them because I think they're on like 16 to 18 teams, which is obviously very good, but the Universe 6 team still needs a ton of help, and this is where Dokkan's philosophy with categories is kind of biting them in the behind here, right? Where we just don't have access to God Goku and Hit on this category, where they would be very, very helpful right now. Because when you just look at usable units on this category, it is very slim pickings, right? You have Int Hit. This Automagetta is obviously a joke. We know that. I think I have to do a showcase for somebody of this character, but you get what I'm saying, right? AGL Kale, not usable anymore. This Kale and Caulifla Easy A definitely has potential. We know about Int Hit. He's like, you know, one of the best TURs in the game. And then you just have a bunch of like 50, you have two 50% supports. Kale and Caulifla are very good in limited vacuums, right? Especially this Caulifla. You run her in the SSR against pure Saiyans, and you're just not going to be able to take damage. And that is very good. But with this team, just not where it needs to be just yet. But I think in time it will get there. But that's the thing. Like, I say that being positive, but I don't know. Right? Is this team ever going to get to where it needs to be? Because the Super Easy A spectrum for Universe 6 is non-existent, right? Where 1%, I said 1%, but general pool SSRs are not really like Super Easy A candidates right now, because we're talking about old sort of like Dokkan Fest Easy A's and LRs and stuff like that, but we're not thinking about GSSRs that are just in the pool that you can pull whenever. So, like, Universe 6 is still a ways away from help, but at least this Kale and Caulifla are not just, like, completely bound to Universe 6, right? There are other ways to run them, but I don't know if running two of them is going to be the optimal play, because Universe 6 right now is just not a real team. So, with that being said, I will give you a quick portion here to close this one out, and the question is going to be whether or not you should be summoning for this character. In my opinion, I don't think you should be summoning for them, especially with the way that they have changed up the formatting for the game now with celebrations. There's not going to be as much time as we thought to prepare for the big sort of anniversary level celebration, being the Global Dokkan campaign coming up in July, right? So, if you guys don't know, Tanabata is moving to September, and now in July we are going to do a bigger celebration, kind of akin to the global anniversary, but it's going to be for both versions, known as the Global Dokkan campaign. So there's going to be less time for you to save your stones, so we need to start thinking about this now, because it's going to creep up on us real quick. We're only about like 9 weeks away from that time, and I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Like 9 weeks goes by like a snap these days, man. So just keep that in mind if you are thinking about summoning for these characters. If you are just a massive Kale and Caulifla fan, right? Universe 6, the female Saiyans, that's your thing. I completely get it, and I'm not going to say that you shouldn't summon at all, but I think it is in your best interest to skip this banner, so that way you can save your stones for more important things in the future, and that's always going to be the philosophy that I hold with basically any banner that isn't a major banner like Anniversary, like Worldwide / Global Dokkan campaign and stuff like that. So Let me know down below how many stones you have saved up, or what is your plan for this banner in specific. Are you going to be summoning and all of that fun stuff? So if you enjoyed this one, found it helpful, and all of those fun things, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. It does help me, and I love to interact with you guys. I can respond to your comments, talk to you, and all that fun stuff. And if you'd like to do more of that, go ahead and join the Discord. The link is in the description. We have an active community with people that can help you out with any questions that you might have, and it's a way to get into contact with me. Any questions that you may have, if I'm around, I can answer. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one.